In 2016, Dr. Ruja Ignatova was arguably the most dangerous woman in finance. She filled arenas like a pop star, she wore millions of dollars in diamonds, she told the world she had created the Bitcoin killer. And people believed her. 3.5 million investors gave her their life savings. But on October 25th, 2017, Ruja boarded a Ryanair flight from Bulgaria to Greece and simply ceased to exist. Since that flight, not a single confirmed photo of her has been taken. The FBI has a $5 million bounty on her head. Some intelligence agencies believe she is living in a palace in Dubai with a new face. Others believe she was murdered years ago, chopped into pieces and tossed into the Ionian Sea. Today, we are opening the file on the CryptoQueen to answer the only question that matters. Is she dead, or is she just watching us? Join me. To understand how someone disappears with $4 billion, you first have to understand how they stole it. Ruja didn't sell a product. She sold FOMO, fear of missing out. She had the perfect resume, an Oxford degree, a PhD, a stint at McKinsey. When she walked into a room, she did not look like a scammer, and she spent money like a CEO too. In 2016, she bought a £13.5 million penthouse in Kensington, London. It wasn't just a house, it was a fortress. She filled it with expensive art, including works by Andy Warhol, and hosted lavish parties where champagne flowed like water. But the most famous image of her wasn't in her house. No, it was on the newsstand. Investors constantly shared a photo of Ruja on the cover of Forbes magazine. It was the ultimate social proof. But look closer. This wasn't a real Forbes cover. It was a paid advertisement wrapped around the magazine, printed specifically for her events. Inside the magazine, there was no interview, no feature, and it was literally a paid promotional wrap. But to the average person in Uganda or China holding that magazine, it looked like the Bible of finance had just crowned her the new queen. She told investors that they had missed the boat on Bitcoin, but one coin was their second chance. But the most audacious part of the lie wasn't the marketing. It was the technology. In 2016, a headhunter contacted a blockchain expert named Bjorn Bjuxi. They offered him a massive salary, an apartment, a car, huge bonuses to be the CTO of OneCoin. Bjorn asked a simple question: what kind of blockchain are you running? The recruiter replied, "We don't have one. We need you to build it." That was the secret. OneCoin wasn't a cryptocurrency. It was a standard SQL database. It was just a list of numbers on a computer in Bulgaria. When Ruja stood on stage and said the mining difficulty was increasing, she was lying. Her team was literally typing new numbers into a server script to make the price go up. There was no mining, there was no cryptography. It was a video game currency sold as a financial revolution. But because the numbers on the screen kept going up, people stopped asking questions. It spread like a virus. It wasn't just a crypto coin, it was a cult. They sold educational packages for up to 100,000 euros. While Ruja was buying yachts, her investors were losing everything. Take Jen McAdam, a woman from Scotland. She didn't just invest her own money, she convinced her friends and family to invest nearly 250,000. She believed the dream, she watched the webinars where Ruja promised financial freedom. But when Jen started asking questions, the dream turned into a nightmare. She didn't get answers, she got threats. Ruja hired powerful London law firms to silence critics. And it wasn't just lawyers, it was psychological warfare. Meet Timothy Curry. He was a Bitcoin enthusiast who realized OneCoin was a scam early on. He started a blog to warn people. Most CEOs would ignore a small blogger. Ruja tried to destroy him. OneCoin supporters, often called One Life members, doxed his address. They sent him death threats, they harassed his family, and at OneCoin rallies, they would chant slogans like a religious revival. If you questioned the coin, you weren't just a skeptic, you were a hater trying to keep poor people from getting rich. Ruja weaponized her own victims to protect the scam. If you called OneCoin a scam, you got a letter threatening to sue you for defamation. Ruja wasn't just stealing their money, she was gaslighting them into silence. So, by 2017, the walls were closing in. The banks started freezing her accounts, the US government was sniffing around. Ruja knew the end was coming. She was dating Gilbert Armenta, a wealthy businessman, but Gilbert had a secret. He had already been caught for money laundering. To save his own skin, he made a deal with the FBI. Ruja, ever the spy, had bugged Gilbert's apartment. She heard him talking to the feds. She knew he had betrayed her. That was the trigger. On October 25th, she didn't pack bags. She didn't tell her family. She just walked out of her office, took a car to Sofia Airport, and boarded a Ryanair flight 215 to Athens, Greece. She landed in Athens at 3 p.m. and that is the last verified moment Ruja Ignatova existed on planet Earth. But she left someone behind to take the fall, her younger brother, Konstantin. Konstantin wasn't a mastermind, he was Ruja's personal assistant. He booked her flights, carried her bags, but when she disappeared, he became the de facto face of the company. The FBI caught him at LAX airport in 2019, and Konstantin did exactly what his sister feared. He talked. He told the jury everything. How they faked the coin, how they laundered $400 million, and how his sister ran before the cuffs could click. So, where is she, you might be asking? After 7 years of hunting, investigators have split into two camps. The first theory is the most brutal, however. It connects Ruja to a man named Hristoforos Amanatidis, better known as Taki. Taki is a legendary figure in the Bulgarian underworld, a suspected drug lord who allegedly used one coin to launder drug money. According to a leaked report from the Bulgarian Ministry of Interior, Taki decided Ruja knew too much. The report claims that in November 2018, a full year after she vanished, she was on Taki's yacht in the Ionian Sea. It certainly wasn't a quick death. The report alleges she was murdered. Her body was dismembered and the pieces were tossed into the ocean to ensure she would never be found. If this is true, the CryptoQueen did not escape with billions. She ended up as loose ends for the cartel. But the FBI doesn't seem to buy the murder theory. In June 2024, they increased the reward for her capture to $5 million. Simply put, you don't put a bounty on a ghost. The second theory is that Taki didn't kill her. He is hiding her. Journalists have tracked OneCoin assets to Dubai, a city with no extradition treaty with the US. Witnesses claim to have seen her at exclusive restaurants, claiming she has had extensive plastic surgery, dyed her hair blonde, and travels on diplomatic passports from other countries. But why keep her alive? Well, because she has the passwords. Somewhere on a cold storage drive are billions of dollars in Bitcoin and cash, and as long as she is alive, the cartel has access to the bank. Ruja Ignatova is the only woman on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. If she is dead, she got away with the perfect crime, living like a queen for 3 years before a quick end. But if she is alive, she is living a nightmare, looking over her shoulder every day, wondering if the person serving her coffee is an assassin or an FBI agent looking for a $5 million payday. Look at this face closely, because the next time you see it, it might not look like this, but the eyes never change. Rumors place her in South Africa or dead, but no confirmation exists as of late 2025. In November 2025, however, Guernsey courts gave her 28 days to contest the asset seizures linked to OneCoin. Her story fueled BBC's Missing CryptoQueen podcast, books and documentaries probing Bulgarian underworld ties. If you want to see more investigations such as this into the people who vanished, please hit subscribe because, simply put, I'm just getting started and I have got many other ideas and this is the start of the channel. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you next time.
Really a pleasure for me to be here 1.5 years after we launched our cryptocurrency OneCoin. I think today we spoke a lot about the network, the vision for the network, how big we want to be. But as always, I want us to remember what this network is about.